Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. My name is Michael Ziak, and I have with me Sarisha and Sanjoy, and we're going to be talking to you today about communicating service incidents at cloud scale. We're going to talk about it from a principled standpoint, and then give you some insights into the engineering activities that go into our continuous improvement efforts to make things better. Now, as we look at this, service incidents are an outcome, unfortunately, that cannot be avoided. Our goal is ultimately to have them occur less frequently. When they do occur, to make them less impactful to you as a customer. But when they do occur, we want ultimately to give you the best possible experience that we can. Now, I'm going to start with just a big thank you. I want to thank you for both being our customers and putting your trust in us to operate what are mission-critical services for your organization. And to thank you for taking the slings and arrows from your users and your customers within your organization when things don't go right. And so our goal is to make that experience as best possible. Now, when we look at how we think about communicating to you, we have a few sort of core things that we want to deliver on. Your goal is to challenge us when we don't do this. And when you look at the innovations that we're coming up with, they actually try and address some of these key items. One is we want to be timely. Now, ultimately, we will communicate to you when there is an issue. Many times, we actually can avoid the issue and we're not going to communicate with you. But the fact is that when there is a service incident and it's affecting you, you ultimately are getting questions from your end users, and our goal is to try and get the information to you as quickly as possible so you can tell those users what the issue is and to take action. Next is we want it to be relevant. It needs to be related to you as an organization. It needs to be actionable. We need to tell you what it is that you can do or also what you can't do when we run into that particular issue. And then finally, we want to make it easy to discover. We want it to be available to you as you need it, when you need it within your organization. Now, we have a job within my organization, which is to translate these service issues into relevant information. You can sort of take the analogy of an airline pilot. They have a vast array of instrumentation, and most of the time, those instruments are telling them things are going well. But even when the instruments say, hey, we're running low on fuel, in many cases, that may not be something that we need to tell the passengers in the plane. And so as we take all of this service telemetry in, we look at it and we translate that into a set of alerts. And those alerts ultimately then become potentially a set of issues that we report to you. Not always. In many cases, we validate that the issue is not something that is impactful, and we won't tell you. And then obviously in other cases, while we're looking at the issue, trying to debug what's going on, validate that it's impactful, you're experiencing it. And you're saying, hey, I don't see this on the service health dashboard. Now ultimately, as we tell you to buckle up because we've got a service issue, we want to try and do that as quickly as possible. We don't want you to be standing up and about the cabin, getting coffee spilled all over yourself. We want to give you as much warning as possible that the issue is occurring. Now, as you look at this, communicating for cloud service issues when it rains is sort of tied into a set of things that we've gotten as feedback from you. You want us to tell you about the issue before your user population sees it. Now, in actuality, that's impossible. If your user has Outlook that fails right when they're using it, they're seeing it. But we can always do better in getting you that communication more quickly. You want to have more frequent updates regarding what's going on. And then you want us to tell you how it's impacting you as a customer, and you want to know when that issue is going to be resolved. Now, we ultimately look at this as a continuous cycle. We take those signals, we give you communications, we provide you where possible self-help content, and then we're about continuous improvements. Now, how we listen is a set of signals, and we use many signals. We have the telemetry that's coming in from all of our service engineering teams. We have outside technologies. We use Down Detector. We have a Twitter handle. We give you feedback surveys to tell us how we're doing. We have a capability that we're excited to tell you about today called Report an Issue. We'll be going into that in a little bit. And then we use support cases, and we use that to provide us telemetry. The word I want you to think about with regard to this is amplification of signal, right? When we have a strong signal that there's an engineering problem, in some cases that doesn't translate into a service impacting issue. By getting signals from you as customers and getting closer to you and your user population, we're actually going to be able to get better and better at communicating to you what is going on and then taking the feedback when we don't get it right and improving that communication. Now, if you look at incident communications as an area, we target our communications based on infrastructure mapping. This is important. Over 85% of our communications get targeted because you're on a unit of capacity that was impacted by an issue. In many cases, and in most cases, customers are not seeing a communication. We want to provide you detail as to how important is this. We categorize between incident and advisory. The notion of an incident is something that is going to be more impactful. I can't send receive email for a group of my users. Something that may be an advisory is search is delayed for 10 minutes and is not up to date. You want to know about the organization and user impact to be shared with the end users. So when you look at our communications, we try and provide detail around that so you can understand and translate that back to your user population. And then we want to be transparent. In our service health posts, when we close out, we're almost always providing you what we know to be the root cause. That root cause may be a software update or otherwise, but we're trying to give you that information. And when we provide you a post-incident report, we'll provide significantly more detail around the particular issue that occurred. Now, thankfully, most issues don't relate to the service. In many cases, a user is facing an issue and they're not able to connect to Outlook and they call up the support desk and it turns out they didn't have Wi-Fi turned on or what have you. Our goal is to provide more and more insights to the user in the experience to tell them how to operate and use the technology that we give, because ultimately you take on a burden as well. While we have a support organization, you have a support organization. And I think everybody in here can agree that an avoided support case is a very good thing. And so we work on delivering more and more content. And then ultimately, when there is an issue with the service, we want to give information that allows your users to continue to be productive. You'll many times see an issue that may be impacting Outlook Mobile, but the Outlook client or the web is not experiencing that issue. We will actually provide that information, and when we fail to provide it, we will take your feedback and provide you an update. Now, there's going to be an announced feature which we'll be talking about in here, which will be a capability coming soon, which will actually provide in-product notification. And ultimately, our North Star is to be able to deliver to your users, when we have an issue, information directly to them so they can take action. Now, ultimately, we have been running the service for a few years. How we deliver information to you has improved significantly, but we are never done, and it is about continuous improvement. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Sanjoy, who's going to talk about some interesting work that we've done in the support arena to do better amplification and to listen to you and your issues. Sanjoy?
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Everyone, I'm Sanjoy. I'm a program manager in Microsoft, and I work in Microsoft 365 customer support. All right, so as Mike mentioned, when it comes to detecting service incidents, in Microsoft, we of course have a lot of signals that we've developed over many, many years. This includes all sorts of server monitoring, data center monitoring, logs, telemetry-based pipelines. But working in customer support, we know that one equally powerful signal is customer voice itself. When a service incident occurs, affected customers are amongst the first to start raising service tickets. The agents who handle those tickets are amongst the first to know or get an inkling that something might be going on. So a few years ago, we started this initiative in customer support to see how we could take this super powerful signal on support tickets and make that an additional signal that engineering teams can use to detect if there is a service incident going on or not. So how does it work? What you see on the screen over here is the starting point of creating a support ticket. This is the help and support experience that you see on the M365 admin portal. Super simple experience, starts with a search box. You can type whatever you want related to your particular issue. We show you some self-help content if it is available. If not, then we take you to the support ticket creation experience. For those of you who have been with Office 365 for a while, you might remember the old support ticket creation experience, which used to consist of like 4 or 5 drop-downs. You had to select from the hundreds of products that we have in Microsoft, then features and sub-features within that, hundreds of choices to make, and a lot of friction. We've gotten rid of all of that and come up with this super simple search experience that is your starting point. But the challenge that we had now was, given that this is text that customers can type anything in whatever language that they want in, how do we take this unstructured text and put some structure around it that our engineering teams can then use? Right. So what we did, our data scientists, using advanced machine learning models, topic modeling, came up with ticket clustering algorithms, right? So we wanted to create these clusters of tickets that we could then assign to engineering teams. These ticket clusters are fairly granular. They're not just at the level of here's a collection of Outlook-related tickets, but they go to the granularity of customers are complaining about Outlook tickets related to, say, login when they have multiple Office 365 accounts. We use additional telemetry data to create tenant cohorts, right? So tenants based on a particular geo or data center to really narrow down the scope of these ticket clusters as well, because that is what is going to help the engineering teams. Once we've created these ticket clusters, we have advanced monitoring on top of these clusters to see if there is an abnormality, if there's some spike going on. These are advanced rules which take into account things like seasonality and trends, et cetera, to really detect if there is a spike, as we call it, going on around a particular ticket cluster. These ticket clusters are mapped to engineering teams. So when we do detect a spike, an incident alert is created for the right engineering team. Every engineering team in Microsoft, of course, has on-call engineers who are available 24 hours a day to look at these incident alerts as they come in. The first job they do when an alert comes in is to investigate whether this is a true incident or not. If this is deemed to be a true incident, then our communication team steps in. This is what Mike was mentioning earlier. We want to communicate as quickly as possible to our customers that there is a known incident and you might be affected by it. So in the service health dashboard that you see on the M365 admin portal, you can go in and you can see these incident advisories or incident alerts. But we don't just stop there. What happens to the next customer who comes in and tries to log a ticket around the same issue that we've just detected a spike for? That is where our spike detection technology is now joined with the service health dashboard. And in real time, as the tickets are coming in, it is able to detect that this is a known incident and show self-help content back to the customer saying, hey, what you're logging a ticket about, we know this is an incident and you might be affected by it. This helps save customer time because if the customer just talked to an agent, the agent would have spent time investigating and telling them the same thing. If the customers do end up talking to an agent, agents are hooked to the same incident advisory mechanism that exists for customers as well. They get the same alerts, so they're very able to quickly respond back to customers and tell them that this is a known incident. So how does it all help? As Mike mentioned, our goal is continuous product improvement. As these service alerts come in, right, we are trying to detect as quickly as possible which of these are true incidents and which of these are really bugs. Where customer support tickets really helps is not just in detecting a lot of these high-volume, high-velocity incidents, but also in detecting a lot of these low-grade regressions, right? Regressions that might have just been lost as noise in the normal telemetry pipeline, but using support tickets, it helps amplify those low-grade regressions into real incidents that engineering teams can start to take a look at. A true success metric that we use in customer support to see whether continuous improvement is helping or not is tickets per user. right? This is a metric that we track very, very closely. What you see over here is real data, real graph of over time. Even though Microsoft 365 service has been improving, we have been adding a lot of products to it, our tickets per user has continuously been coming down, right? To take this technology of crowdsourcing even further, we're pleased to announce today a bunch of new features in the service health dashboard that can help amplify this customer voice signal as well. And for that, I'd like to call my colleague Sri Shanti.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Yeah.
Do you have the click? Sanjay, yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sirisha, Program Manager in Microsoft. Team works on Service Health Dashboard and Message Center. As Mike and Sanjay already mentioned, Microsoft is committed to make continuous investments on the system telemetry. When an issue occurs, we want to get ahead of that and resolve as quickly as we can. However, the signal that we are getting from customers is equally very important. Sanjay had mentioned about the amplification of it. So we want to make sure the data that we have in terms of the system telemetry is associated also with what we are hearing from our customers, which is why crowdsourcing is becoming increasingly popular with many companies across the industry segments. So we decided to add that experience into our own service health dashboard within Admin Center. You might ask why SHD. We have heard from many of you that IT admins are constantly watching for new incidents that are coming on SHD. Also, when you experience some issue, you want to come and check in SHD whether Microsoft has already identified this issue. If not, then you take appropriate action of support tickets, reaching out to your TAMs, etc. So we thought that is probably the best place to include this one. So we floated that proposal with many of the customers that we have been interacting with, and we have gotten nothing but a resounding yes from the customers that we spoke with. Today, a lot of M365 customers do use social media, as Mike has mentioned. The communications team always pays attention to Twitter handle and the down detector signals. However, the problem is we don't have the context of your tenant when you report these issues on social media. As Sanjay mentioned earlier, the tenant cohorts about the geography that the tenant belongs to, the data centers and the farms, is super important information for us to narrow down the issue and the scope of the impact. When you report this issue, we apply advanced machine learning algorithms. And we also combine that with the support tickets, which Sanjay just explained. So the signal becomes really powerful, and it amplifies, and it provides enough data points for the engineering team when they're doing the investigation. So they're able to narrow down very quickly. They're able to identify the root cause, and they're also able to scope the impact to the tenants that are all impacted, and only the tenants that are impacted. So the process becomes much more precise. And also understand that this is a direct line to Microsoft engineering team. When we, as Mike mentioned, we want to bring the engineering teams and the customers as close as possible and avoid delays in that process. We have rolled this out in August. We started with North America target release customers. And right now we are worldwide customers 100% for target release. We have seen really promising results from the pilot, and we're really delighted to share a couple of those case studies so you know the power of crowdsourcing and how it is actually benefiting the customers back. So before we talk about those case studies, let's talk about the flow of reporting an issue. We've intentionally made it really very simple, very quick, and intuitive for the users that are using it, so that you don't feel there is an overhead of flagging these issues as you see. Under the all services, you see a little plus sign which says report an issue. You indicate whether this is significantly impacting your organization. Again, a really important data point for engineering team as they do the investigation. Select the service that is impacting, and choose the scenario that is very close to the symptoms that you are experiencing. We have taken all the scenarios that have contributed to 95% of the incidents that happened in the last 1 year. We will constantly keep adding more and more scenarios to this list. And we also plan on adding one option that says, I don't see the scenario that I'm experiencing right now. However, for that to happen, we want a really broad adoption because we'll completely rely on the verbiage that you're going to add. Please give as much detail as possible about the issue that you're seeing. And when you submit this one, we give you acknowledgement both in line as well as in the email. That is not all. We are continuously improving on the features. So this is a brand new feature that we have just added. You can provide information and feedback back to communications team whether you are actually experiencing the issue that's been posted to your tenant. So please use this. We really love this feedback. We want to make sure this is relevant for you, and communication team constantly tweaks the content as the investigation and the resolution of the incident happens. That is not all. We have more coming. If you have reported an issue and that has turned into an incident, we will let you know, hey, this is the SSG post. Please keep an eye on how the incident is progressing. In case it has not turned into an issue, we will still let you know. We'll tell you that it's not a broadly impacting issue. Please go ahead, raise a support ticket if you have not already done and if you're still experiencing the issue. So that way you are assured that this is taken care either way. We also will give you a reporting capability for all the issues that your tenants have, tenant admins have provided. So you can see a list of everything that's been reported at your tenant level. So let's talk about the case studies that I just mentioned. We've rolled this feature out in August, and immediately after a week, we have had an issue with SharePoint services. Network fiber cable was cut inadvertently in one of the data centers, and that has caused the issue for SharePoint online services. System telemetry caught it within 15 minutes. The Microsoft automated recoveries process has begun. Engineers got engaged. They have done the failover process, and the services were restored. The most important point here is, at the same time as we have received the system signals, we started receiving signals from you all. System telemetry is pretty fast, and we were able to match that with this crowdsourcing solution. So we were very thrilled to see the feature working as we were expecting very early in the cycle. And let's look at a most recent incident. As some of you might recollect, you had issues accessing Microsoft 365 services when there was multi-factor authentication it was using. Initially, based on the signals we have had from Twitter, communication team engaged engineering teams, and the scope was identified to be around admin center. But based on the signals we have received from report an issue, it was determined that it is actually across all of Microsoft 365 services that are using MFA, not just admin center. So the post was quickly reposted, content was updated accordingly, and the services were restored immediately after that. So you can see that the signals that you have given have helped us narrow down, expand the impact, and very quickly without taking a lot of time. So it is working in favor of you as well. Interesting observation from our pilot. Initially, our hypothesis is enterprises will probably be adopting it more than other segments, but we are thrilled to see SMBs have equally adopted this feature enthusiastically, and they've given a lot of feedback as well. So the more signals we get from you, the better we become in identifying the issue. So as the crowdsourcing name says, we need crowd for it to be effective. So thank you, everybody, for participating in the pilot. We will be rolling this out into GA next week. So we request that you all make sure that your teams are aware of this capability and then use it when you see the issue. As part of our continuous improvement and our commitment to make sure the content is easy to discover, we are excited to announce another new capability. We are bringing the in-app notifications for you when an incident happens. The tenant admins will receive these notifications to start with in Outlook. We will communicate any workarounds and possible solutions wherever they are available. This is coming soon for insiders, so please stay tuned. And once this is rolled out to your tenant, please use it, give us feedback. We look forward to your feedback and make sure this is working in your favor. So when the incident happens, how can you be updated? How can you, it goes without saying, Service Health Dashboard is your first place to look at incidents and advisories as they're posted. Excited to announce that the email notifications are now in target release. They'll soon be GA'd. Mobile notifications are already in GA, so that you can be updated about incidents as you're in go. Service Comms API v2 has been in pilot for a while, and then we have done GA for this recently. So if you have organizational needs to integrate with this API for a better communication workflows, that option exists. Communications team also uses Twitter to post some of the select incidents on Twitter. Please note that this is predominantly for inbound signals. And what happens when admin center itself is down for some infrastructure related issues? Your go-to place is status.office.com. We call this emergency broadcasting system. So please make sure your teams are bookmarking this one and you know where to go when you can't access admin center itself. So how can you help us? We've been committed to continuously improve, and we would like your participation and help in improving our whole process and the detection. When you see issues, please do report. Preferably on report an issue and support ticket. As I said, we can't emphasize enough the context of your tenant, how important it is for our investigations. And when you see a content of an incident or an advisory, please give us feedback about, is the description matching your symptoms, or is the content clear? Mike's team constantly keeps an eye on every single feedback that is coming from each of these incidents. So please make use of their effort and resources to work for you. When the incident is happening, please let us know whether that is impacting you or not. We would like to make sure that you get more accurate communication that is relevant for your tenant. And when the issue is resolved, please do let us know as well. This is as important for us as it is to know when you have an issue, because we would like to make sure that we have done everything so that your services are restored and you no longer see that issue. Feedback is really critical. Please help us improve, and we really appreciate your partnership during these times. It's extremely important. That brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much for your time. I and Mike and Sanjoy will stay around in case you have any questions. Please find us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
We have some time left, so if people want to ask formal questions, we have mics available. You don't have to be shy. If we don't get any, we certainly have time available. We'd love to get your feedback. Are we heading in the right direction? Are we giving you what you need? So if you do have some questions, please step on up and ask. Oh, and if it's, I don't know if you have to turn it on, and if not, I will repeat it to the audience. Okay, go.
So you say report an issue. Are you looking for admin reports, or are the end users reporting the issue in some way as well?
Yeah, so the question was, for the report an issue, is this report an issue for admins or for the users? Our starting point is for the admin. It is an admin experience. We are looking at how we actually can plumb technology that will get the user reports to us as well, but that is something that's TBD at this time. But ultimately, we always think about the extension of IT admins to the end user and how we can get end user signals to help us as well. So that's something that we're definitely taking a look at. Thanks for the question. Yeah.
Actually, I had a similar question. Besides, I mean, something in between users and admins, as IT managers, directors, CIOs, whatever, sometimes you need executive level communication because you need to message your CEOs, your vice presidents. So you are not an admin, you're not any user. So I was wondering whether you have any plan to target, again, these channel like executives or managers in addition to admins or users.
Yeah, we haven't developed something or have something in development. Certainly, one thing that Sarisha did not mention, which is a feature coming, which is email notifications. So we've added now, and we'll be releasing the capability so you can actually subscribe to emails. So I think there is still a notion where you as IT professionals will want to probably curate that communication, but at least now it's in your inbox. You'll be able to say, I want to know about incidents, not advisories, and then you'll be able to take that communication, you'll be able to provide it to your executives directly rather than trying to screen scrape something from the service health dashboard.
Yeah, and so that's great. I mean, the email subscription is great. I'm also suggesting that the content of the message is probably different for admins, for end users, and for IT executives. Right?
Yeah, so yeah, the notion of an IT executive or an executive communication isn't something that we've yet considered. We'll take the feedback. We do provide user impact as a notion of something that you should be able to extract and say, users, you are not able to connect to Outlook on the web, you can use the Outlook client, you can use Outlook mobile. That communication is something that we do intend to deliver and we do provide. And again, if the communication's not clear enough, please rate the communication, provide us the feedback. We're looking at it 24 hours a day, near real time. So thanks for the question. We're just going to keep going back and forth till we run out of questions.
Yeah, has there been any thought to being able to push notifications to Teams?
Push notifications to Teams? Why I love having these sessions? We'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
And the other thing, regarding the email notifications from the Service Health dashboard, will we be able to route specific services to specific email addresses? Because, we have different groups managing the different workloads.
Yeah, so the starting point will be no, but the feedback is well taken and certainly something that I think we can look at and evolve. That's great feedback. We already do it, for example, within Message Center as an example, where you can split between an Exchange admin and a SharePoint admin and only see content relevant to a particular service. So appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Oh, we have some in the middle too. Wait, let me skip you so that the middle doesn't feel disturbed. Go.
No, I think you've probably covered this basically, but we'll be able to take these incoming service alerts and vet them first as admins, and then choose to distribute them, like in the in-app notifications that are coming in the future. That those aren't automatically being pushed out to users. We are seeing them first, and then choosing, this can go out because it is affecting my users, as opposed to it's not, and they're going to see these all the time and then start ignoring them because they aren't affecting them.
Yeah, so there are two parts to the answer. One is the feature that is coming as released will be only for admins. So we'll look, if you're an Outlook user and you're registered as an administrator, then you will get that message rendered. It will not show up for your end user population. Now, again, in the spirit of our North Star direction, we do want to get to a place where we can actually communicate to the end user. In that scenario, I expect that we'll have to provide admin controls, right? That we'll want to be able, one, for you to say whether you want to communicate to users by default, whether you want to curate it, et cetera. So that part has not been developed. It's something that we are looking at. This is going to be our starting point so we can get the feedback from our customer population as to how that works. But definitely we'll want to make sure that we do that. So thanks. Yeah.
So how do you, and this is just a question around some of the secret sauce with you guys being here, how does an advisory, what's the tipping point from an advisory to become an incident, and how as we as customers help drive that? Because we've had incidents where things have been advisories for long enough to where it's really affecting us.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a complicated answer. We actually tried to develop and then pulled back because it was very hard to actually make it work consistently. But so I think let me give you a scenario. We could have an issue, for example, that only impacts one customer, but they have a workflow that's well tied into it. The notion would be that you could tag that as an incident to say that I'm impacted severely by this issue and actually have that render back as an incident for you, sort of. But we couldn't make that work. As Sarisha noted, we're now wanting to take your signal to say, this is not an advisory, this is impacting me as an incident. The way that we do it is we look at scenario and we look at breadth of scope of impact, right? So if it's 1 in 1,000 users that maybe is not able to connect to email, as an example, that likely is not going to be significantly impacting to an organization. We provide that as an advisory. And so we do have tipping points for sort of the scale of the issue and the scenario to say, yes, this is an incident. One of the reasons why we want to capture the feedback from you of saying, this is an incident, let's say that search staleness is something that is impacting. Going for an hour may not be an issue, but let's say that it goes on for 4 hours or 8 hours, that could turn into a problem. We want to get that signal. But that becomes a little bit interpretive, right? And so the idea of having you tell us that it's an incident is something that we think is valuable, and actually translate that back then. We'll take that, we'll flip it from advisory to incident then in that particular case. But we do have both sort of hard signals that we use and then the little bit softer that we use in terms of volume of support cases coming in to say, this is worse than we thought, so we better switch it from advisory to incident. Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll go back there, and this is kind of fun as we go back.
So there was a slide that referenced compiling issues, our customers or our user issues, right? Yeah. And are those administrative issues that we've submitted, or like in Teams, there's a report a problem that anyone can submit? Are you compiling those also?
So to start with, we are starting with, we've used support tickets. So these are the tickets you log in either through the admin portal or through the IVR, the 1-800 numbers that we have, but actual support tickets that IT administrators have logged.
Yeah, the telemetry from Teams is used, but we don't have the real-time capabilities yet built in. But Teams, for us, is probably the most interesting scenario, because it's not just your users, it's also people outside of your company that are using it and connecting it. And so we see that as a very important sort of scenario that we do want to plumb in. And we've actually been talking to the Teams team to look at how we can actually do that, do it without creating too much noise, and provide information back.
Right, so you reacting to that Teams component, I understand, but currently I have no visibility to any Teams report a problem that occurs in my organization. So are there 12 of them, or are there 500 of them?
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and to the gentleman that was asking about the sort of telling about issues to users, we are thinking about how we would actually render that back, because we think ultimately, no offense to the IT pros, but we think the user signal will actually become even a more powerful signal, right? But we need to think about how do we give that information back to you, right? Because it could be a network issue on your end and has nothing to do with the service. We need to actually translate that into the actionable. We need to tell you, hey, you customer are the only one that has users reporting a problem. You may want to check your network, right? So it's complicated as to how we actually engineer it, but we will take the feedback specifically, which is, hey, my users are saying there is a problem. Can you tell me, can you give me that information back? We'll talk to the Teams organization about if they have any plans near term to report back on that. Thank you. So thanks. Yeah.
Is there any major changes coming to the API for notifications? As you notice, you're now approaching the idea of sending emails to the global admins, tenant admins to get the information out. Historically, where I'm at, we've had to fill those shoes using the API and PowerShell and scripting.
Yeah.
Is there any forthcoming changes, like as the gentleman just mentioned, with statistics? Like, you have an issue, this location has reported an issue.
Yeah, so again, I always want to first thank you for the feedback. I think it's a nifty idea. There is some work that we're actually doing on the message center side, which we're announcing as well, which is the capability of integrating with Planner as an example. And I think the ideas of sort of Flow, what's now Automate, and Planner could create some scenarios whereby we make it easier for you to route ticketing and so on. To the gentleman that was asking about sort of executive level notification, if you tag an incident, then you could kick off like an Automate or a Flow to say, hey, please notify my executives with regard to that. I don't think we have any near-term changes coming directly into the API. but I think we ultimately can take advantage of some of the products services that we deliver to improve that. But we'll take the feedback around being able to route and to automate the sort of the reporting of these issues.
Just not necessarily route, but to actually grab the statistics. Like the other gentleman was saying, you know, we have 12 incidents coming in.
Yeah,
We grab that data and either put it to our service desk so they're aware of it.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we're getting a spike in Teams, or hey, we're getting a spike in Automate.
Yeah.
Or some other.
We just GA'd the V2, and we don't have a major changes coming to the API that will not have backward compatibility. Yeah, please go ahead and start integrating with that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. This is very helpful. One thing that keeps coming back from my organization is, you know, the service help desk is going to be awesome. I'm really excited, but we are continually frustrated by the lack of uniformity across the ticketing systems. For example, we have, depending on which part of my organization reports tickets, there's not a universal availability of tickets. There's like, I mean, our TAM says, well, there's this ticket system and this ticket system and this ticket system within Microsoft, and they're not integrated. And so is there any effort to create a single view? I mean, as a large university with a multi-million-dollar contract, you know, I need to have some help with the universal view around the tickets and whatnot.
Yep, go.
Great feedback. Support ticket coherence is something we are actively thinking about. We hear that loud and clear. It's something that we are really, really thinking about. I'd love to, if you know, right after this, if I could just sync with you one-on-one, have a little conversation just to get your feedback in detail. But that is something that we are looking at.
So, I mean, to give a sort of broader philosophical view, we took the support used to really be disconnected from engineering. The first step that we did is we took the support system that was used for our smaller customers and we brought that directly into the engineering team. We're now expanding that, including the sort of premier model as well, with the view that if we can engineer as we can build in these signals and capabilities, the challenge that you see is some of the artifacts of, I have CSS, I have a TAM, and with that, they're using a different system than the system that the broad commercial system is connected in. As Sanjoy is indicating, we'll get a little bit more information to see if we're actually doing something to solve it. But I can tell you that we are moving down the path of getting all of that under engineering control so we can be in a position of delivering what you're looking for there.
And just one last, thank you so much. One last kind of hint is we're still very, very firmly hybrid. So, so that is also, I think, a contributing factor. And our technology strategy is hybrid, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So how Microsoft embraces hybrid is
great. If you stick around, we'll get some more detail from you. Go over there. Yeah.
So my question goes in a very similar direction. I'm a TAM.
Yeah.
I would like really to know, so because I really like the idea of amplifying signals and stuff like that. If contracts from large enterprises with Premier, with mission critical, with engineering direct, for example, what's the role that plays in amplifying the signal? Or is something that is completely parallel to that?
Can you repeat? The question didn't come across clearly.
Okay, so the question is like when you talk about amplifying the signal or capturing things from the admins,
Yeah.
Larger enterprises tend to have like bigger support contracts, like with the support mission critical, engineering direct, and you know, right? What would be the role of the support there? It's something that will amplify the signal, or just like expedite the
Well, I mean, in terms of, I mean, again, sort of talking in context, if we have a service issue, support doesn't do anything, right? The only thing they can do is clearly articulate what we put in the service health dashboard. Okay, they become a friction point. Similarly, the support organizations of our customers also can become a friction point, which is why we want to get to that point where have the user report the issue, have engineering capture that signal directly. So I think there's an intentionality that we have to get closer and closer to the customer and not have support in the middle of a transaction where the service has got a problem, the IT professional recognizes it. I want that to go to engineering directly. I don't want support to have to translate it. I don't want the TAM to have to translate it. I want the engineer to see it as quickly as possible, take the amplification to say, yeah, it is a problem, and then start working on it.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Wait.
Anyone else? We'll do one more, and then we'll just stand here for a few minutes at the end. Go ahead.
So something that my org is continually struggling with is scale of incidents. So if something's posted to our tenant, is it 10 people that are impacted, or is it 10,000?
Yeah.
How do we, is there anything on the roadmap to help address that?
Going back in our efforts to improve, we did have a feature that was intended to deliver it. Unfortunately, a lot of the scenarios didn't have the good enough context to be able to tell us that it was only impacting like 1 in 100, but it could have impacted any of those 100, so we would tell you 100 people are impacted rather than 1. I think, again, we don't have a feature right now to deliver. I would say that ultimately, using the real-time communication back through the service health dashboard will help us. And then I think the long-term vision of taking the direct user signal will actually get us to the right point with regard to that. Because in a distributed system, it becomes difficult. If it's a mesh and 1 in n fails, like 1 in 100, one person experiences that their next request is successful. How impactful is that? And do I tell you that it's one person or any person that could experience it? So it's great feedback. I mean, we are looking at how we can do it. Near term, I want you to tell us in the service health dashboard, hey, I've got support cases, how bad is it? Can you give me more information in the service health post? We will look to update it as best we can. But longer term, we want to get that signal from the user to actually be able to deliver on a promise of giving you that information very clearly. Okay, thanks. All right, so we'll be up here for a few minutes if anybody has anything else. Thanks very much.